Hey everybody, welcome back to the Become Great podcast. My name's Ahab and I have a very special guest in studio today. It's a dear friend of mine named Trey Bollinger. Trey, we have been friends for, over 10 years now.
It's been a while.
And
Can't believe it's been 10 years. Wow.
I know, man. Our boys are growing up together.
Yep.
When I first met you, we had loose connection, both business guys in town.
Yep.
I had my little coffee shop.
Yeah.
You have your phone repair and you have other things that you obviously do. But man, it was like a breath of fresh air when you came into my life. And we're doing a series on, basically it's my core values, to become great.
Yeah.
And we're on the letter E today, which is enjoy. And this is something I believe, if you're going to do it, you might as well have fun doing it. And if you're not having fun, you're probably doing it wrong.
Right.
You know?
I like that.
And so one of the people in my life who's pushed fun in my life and has always kind of encouraged me to have fun is you. And so I really wanted to bring you in, let people get exposed to you, and really just kind of let you share your story and how you bring fun into everyday life and why it's so important.
That's cool. Yeah. I remember, I didn't know you, but a lady came in my store back in the day, a lot of treasure hunts, a lot of people come in, give them prophetic words.
Yeah.
This lady come in and said, man, I really feel like you're in this business is called to be a father into this city. I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. She's like Ahab, like he's a father to the city. And this was years and years ago. I was like, who's Ahab? You know? And so then you had Medanes at the time.
I did.
And then I went and had a Southern burrito, and that was a bad choice.
You got hooked, bro.
I had fun. Speaking of fun, I've had a lot of fun eating Southern burritos, way too many. Still trying to work them off years later. Every once in a while, I try to get you to make me one. You know?
I made you when we went camping.
I know, we did. But I remember I came to your store, and then I got your book on gratefulness.
Yeah.
And read your book, and I was like, man, me and this guy, it's funny, like you sense somebody's going to be in your future and you're going to be in a relationship, and then it kind of organically happened.
Yeah.
And we started hanging out, and at the time you seemed to be locked up with just lots of stress and lots of transition.
Yeah.
And I do kind of help people in recreation, a side hustle business I started that become like a main business.
Yeah.
Was in the hunting world, and which is outdoor recreation and multiple species, different things, but the ultimate thing is just getting out in God's creation.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important, and I've seen all the life change that comes from it, and even being able to anchor it scripturally with a merry heart doeth good like a medicine.
Yeah.
You know, and it really is so true that when your heart is in the right place, then it's like medicine to your life.
Yeah.
And we're all dealing with certain things that are taxing us, or, you know, whether it's our nervous system or whether it's whatever it is in our health, that people don't track back their health to their heart.
Yeah.
But I think even physical ailments can come back to a heart issue.
I remember you and I went out to Wyoming.
Mm-hmm.
And we did like a shooting school with a bunch of guys. And I was wearing my Apple Watch the whole time.
Yeah, back then you wouldn't have fit in that chair.
No, I think I would have broken the chair. I was a bit bigger. But I remember I had my Apple Watch on, and I used to wear my Apple Watch 24/7. And I remember like coming back from Wyoming and feeling like just different. Didn't really know what was going on. I could feel like, man, I just feel more like peaceful and and I went to look at my resting heart rate, like the average.
Right.
And it went from averaging 90 beats per minute to averaging 60 beats per minute, which is like an athletic rate.
Yeah.
Which I was not athletic.
Right.
And just to see that huge drop, and the drop happened when we were in Wyoming.
Wow.
And there was just something about just getting out in nature, being around the guys that brought so much relief to me.
Right.
And it was life changing.
That trip was extremely transformational. Like you kind of looked us in the eyes and you're like, I'm not going down this mountain the same man. And I was like, yeah. But it's true, man. You came back and you just weren't the same person, and you haven't been ever since.
Yeah.
You know, and you're a great guy and you're a lovable guy, but the discipline that you started operating in, the strategy you started operating in, the new things God was pushing you into, the way your marriage came up, the way your finances came up, the way you came up as a father, it was just like this was birthed in a moment of joy, of peace, of tranquility. I mean, we were in this remote wall tents, nature, and somewhere
middle of nowhere,
Podunk, Wyoming.
Yeah.
I mean, we were rural. There wasn't a cell phone signal for 30 miles. It's funny. And then, you know, it's always like I'm bending arms to get people on these things.
Yeah.
Even you, I'm sure there was a hard time to get you there.
I had plenty of resistance.
There's always resistance and there's never time. It's like building a business, you know, it's like you'll never have the money and you'll never have the time.
Yeah.
Well, it's true with joy and recreation and getting that medicine that you need. If you're waiting for time to do that, you've got to prioritize it and you've got to value it and you've got to say it's important. And because it's important, I'm going to make sure to do it. And that's where you say you're joy pastor. I'm always just that, hey, you know, have some fun. Hey, when are you going to have some fun?
Yeah.
Hey, we need to go have some fun. Because just like a coach to say, hey, you need to exercise and hey, you need to lift, which
I do for you.
Do for me. Hey, why are you eating that? Whatever. But it's that voice in the back of my mind.
You did have a fry that you dipped into ice cream. And I had to say something.
It's true. It's true. But it's like, but when it comes to like joy bonding or fun or being with dudes or whatever that is, like it isn't like there's a lot of accountability saying, hey, have you done this?
Yeah.
Where in all these other areas of life.
Opposite, right?
True.
It's actually the opposite. Everybody's irresponsible. You're being irresponsible. You're not taking care of things. But the reality is, if you're actually being irresponsible if you don't do it, because like when I come home, I'm better as a dad.
Yeah.
I'm better as a husband.
Yeah.
I'm better as a business owner. I'm better to my team.
Yeah.
I left what I needed to leave on either on the mountain or in the field or in that blind. Like I leave the anxiety behind.
Well, the Bible says in Isaiah, it's with joy that we dip from the wells of salvation. So we're saved, but there's still a bucket to be dropped into a well.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to let that bucket down. And I think the intentionality is the bucket that you use to pull more up.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know, you can't do that in the daily grind of life. We all are still kids that won't recess.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? You never grow out of recess.
Yeah.
There's a reason recess is in school, and there's a reason that my kid's looking forward to it and your kid's looking forward to it. And as adults, we're still looking forward to it.
Yeah, we are.
And I think that there's a reason that we inhale and then we exhale.
Yeah.
And I believe that exhaling is as important as inhaling. And I think a lot of times that's what happens. We get to exhale. And when we do, it creates a peace. And when you get on the mountain or wherever it is, what you'll find is that bucket is gratitude.
Yeah.
And we enter his gates with what? Thanksgiving. Because you're generally not in those environments no matter what you're carrying, you seem to find a sense of gratitude and peace. And it's like the environment where God can speak. And I've seen God speak to people in these moments. And like you, it just came back and changed the whole trajectory of their life.
Completely.
Also, the guy that bent his arm, got him to something he didn't have time to do, and ends up spending a couple days with me, and we're doing our thing. And I've done this professionally, so I've been with hundreds and hundreds of people in the outdoors and different environments. But this guy, I don't know a whole lot about his life, and we're actually not even talking a whole lot.
Really?
A lot of times we're not talking at all. We're just sitting, in a world where everybody's got to talk and everybody's got to be on a device. And everybody's this. We're just sitting in a deer stand for we had to log 10 or 12 hours together. When do you spend 12 hours with somebody?
Yeah.
Think about it. Maybe a long trip, driving or something like that. So we're sitting there, and here and there we're having conversations, kind of volleying back and forth a little bit, but ultimately just enjoying God's creation. We end up having this trip. Well, I don't know how it impacts him, but he ends up going home, tears up a suicide letter.
Wow.
Ends up repairing his marriage, or making a decision I'm going to stay in my marriage. And this guy's an outstanding leader. And you never would have thought in a million years that this guy had all this stuff going on inside him.
That's incredible.
But, and what did it take to fix that? 12 hours in a deer stand. But it was medicine.
It is.
And it was a bucket that went down. And what he needed in that moment of life, it was like Jacob when he was alone. And sometimes we have to get alone to where God can deposit what we need to go into that next season. We can have that exhale, if that makes sense.
It does.
So yeah, it's a thing to be valued. You know, where your life had been had you not had that moment on that mountain.
Yeah.
Where would you be right now?
I don't know. I'm actually afraid of where I'd be, because it was that impactful. You and I just November, we're up in Oklahoma, right? And we're deer hunting, and we're just having a blast. And then I'm flying home, and I'm like, Trey, I want to go mule deer hunting. Can we do it in August?
Yeah.
And I'm already trying to plan out the next trip.
Recess.
Yeah. Partially because I know once I get home.
Right. Exactly.
I'm going to forget about this feeling that I have right now.
That's true.
I'm going to forget about this need that I have to just be out in nature, to be with my friends. And I'm going to wait until I'm burnt out. And then I'm going to try to make a plan, and no one's going to be available.
Right. So
let's plan now. There's something so, like, we don't think about the priority of fun, but like fun has to be a priority.
It's true. It's true. It's a liberating thing. God hardwired it in us. You hear from God when you have fun.
Yeah.
And I don't think God put us on this planet to drag our way through it. We're supposed to smile our way through it.
Yeah. And
have that buoyancy that just causes you to feel. And that's what I've experienced in the outdoors. It's like I feel alive, and it's like taking a beach ball and having to like push it down. That's where true vision doesn't come when you have to pull it out of yourself and try to find it. It's like you got to find the thing or the place that beach ball comes up in you, and you're like a pregnant woman. You got to you've got something coming. And that's what happens to me. I get in the outdoors, I get with people, I get with other men, and this thing comes up in me and I can't push it down. And that leads to all kinds of great things and transition. But for me, it's in fun. And maybe for somebody else, it's doing some hard, miserable thing. I don't know. Everybody may, but with me individually, and that's the reason I can multiply it in my life, is because it's been so real to me. I need it, and I need it measured out in an intentional way in my life. And if I keep that, then vision isn't a struggle for me. Discipline isn't a struggle for me. Connection isn't a struggle for me. Hear from God isn't a struggle for me, because I prioritize this thing that is just a huge part of how God wired me to be.
My wife's homeschooling her kids, and we were reading about how if a kid believes they're in the middle of play, they learn 400 times faster than if they believe that they're in school or they're doing something at work.
Wow.
Because when we're playing, we're just so receptive to the world around us, to what's happening in us, to what God is saying. And there's something about that, just being willing to say, I'm playing.
Oh, yeah. That brings up a really good point. So we generally, in my play, a lot of it, we'll take and harvest an animal, right? Which is a solemn thing, which is a lot of guys thinks that men aren't emotional, or men would struggle to be emotional. But so one reason I have so many friends is a trigger point is this moment of emotion, of a surge of emotion. And so like you took your first animal with me. Of course, we're going to eat the animal. Of course, it's going to go in our freezer. Of course, we're going to feed our families. But there's something that comes into your body and your emotions when you're going to take a life. I've had to hold a guy at gunpoint one time. And you want to talk about emotions, like the emotions that surge through you and that you have to unpack after. It's just like insanity. But I've also learned when having fun or doing something together, there has to be emotional moments that happen. And when an emotional moment, like when you take an animal, like there's a seriousness about it. There's an emotional event that takes place. And what would take 10 years to build in a friendship, suddenly in an hour, you're hooked into that relationship for life. Because maybe you took the life of this animal together and you're just like, I've seen grown men just weep. I've seen men be excited. I've seen men get nervous and they can't control the shaking. But men don't like they don't like to exemplify maybe those emotional tendencies, but they can't hide them in that moment. And in that emotion, there's a bond that takes place, and it never wears off. 20 years from now, you're still texting each other, you're still calling each other, you're still talking to each other.
Yeah.
And I believe that it doesn't have to be created hunting.
Yeah.
It can be created in various different ways in the outdoors or in recreation or sports or anything. But I do believe that men have to have fun together, and they have to share an emotional event together. Yeah. And if you can create that, then it is medicine to the soul. It's going to create a joy that also gives you capacity to go through hard things. Because I think joy bonding, why God put it in our life, is if we have this amount of joy, then we have this amount of capacity.
Yeah.
But when we have extreme joy in relationships, then you can go through extreme travail together.
Yeah.
And you have the resilience because of the joy that was mined out in these events and these moments.
You reminded me when I took my first antelope, and I shot with an arrow, I shot my bow, and you said, hey, just to make sure, put another one in him.
Yeah.
My mind, my heart there was no emotion in the moment.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I grabbed my bow, put another arrow in, and I can't keep my hand straight.
Yeah.
My body knew something my mind was unaware of.
Right.
And it made me realize that I'm actually disconnected.
Right.
There was a disconnection between my emotions and my body. Right. My body was trying to tell me something that my mind and my emotions didn't have the capacity to understand.
Wow.
This was a significant moment.
Wow.
And you don't quite understand. So I'm holding it, and I'm shaking, and I can't hold it straight. Remember, I shot right over him.
Yeah.
After shooting a perfect shot, I shot right over him.
Yeah.
Could not keep my hand straight. And I realized, I'm like, I need to get some healing in my heart.
Yeah.
And it was an awareness moment, right? I'm having and I was like, I didn't realize I was this amped, but my body's letting me know,
right,
dude, you're amped right now.
Right. That's true.
And my brain was like, I feel so calm.
Right. Yeah. And a lot of times it does come after. My daughter just came, and she's 11, and she shot a fallow deer the other day, and, it's her first time hunting or whatnot. And she's like, after it was over, her whole body's shaking. And she's kind of trying to tell her friends, and they're kind of like, why'd you shoot it? You're happy you shot it or whatever. She's just, so she experienced something that she can't even communicate.
Yeah.
And my son, he ends up shooting this buck, and the whole stand is shaking. The whole stand. Because he's just like fried in a good way.
Yeah.
And he's getting life from it. It isn't a negative thing, but like we were meant as humans to experience these heightened moments of emotion.
Yeah.
And psychologists will say the only time you change is in a heightened state of emotion. And so in those heightened state of emotions, friendships are made.
Yep.
Decisions about your life are made. Decisions about your weight are made. I think if you want to make resolute decisions that change your life, you need a heightened state of emotion. I don't plan on doing those in negative events if I can avoid them, even though they will come, and even though those things will create decision points and moments for me.
Yeah.
I think on the flip side, if you want to create these trajectory, life-changing decision moments, you have to engage your emotions, and you have to find a way to engage your emotions on a very high level.
Yes, I agree.
And so one of the ways we do that is,
we're either in crisis, walking towards a crisis,
so good,
or coming out of a crisis.
So good.
We're in one of those stages at any point in time. And if we realize that, like, the crisis doesn't trip us up as quickly or as easily.
Yeah.
But knowing that we're either in crisis, walking towards a crisis, or coming out of a crisis, we better plan our fun. We better put it on the calendar.
Yep.
The older we get, the more we realize, like, life is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to lose a loved one. We're going to have a business fail. Mm-hmm. We might lose our job. Like, things just happen in life. We can't control the global economy. We can't control hardly anything. We can't control outcomes. We know that for sure.
Yeah.
Right. But what we can do is say, you know what? I know me well enough to go, in about 3 months, I'm going to need a break.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put some sort of break for me out there.
Yeah.
And 3 months later, I'm going to need another one.
Yeah.
And like, not all of us have the money to do like a
Yep.
very expensive hunt,
Yep.
but there's something we can do. We can go backpacking.
Yep.
We can go hiking.
Yep.
We can go camping. We
Yep.
can do something, puts us out in nature, gets us in God's land,
Yeah.
and like gets us like freed up
Yeah.
for a season.
As you know, I play way too much pickleball.
Way too much.
Way too much pickleball. But for me,
World-class pickleball player.
it's fun.
Yeah.
And I can release emotion there and I can reach high stakes emotions. So
Yeah.
again, this is the same topic. It don't matter what you're pursuing, but it needs to be pursuing something with people you love, reaching high state of emotion.
Yeah.
I think that's the common denominator that will cross-pollinate into tons and tons of things on different budgets and different levels.
Yeah. Like I love to work out.
Yeah.
Right. It's actually a pleasure to me. But I built out a home gym and I started working out by myself.
Yeah.
And I started loving it less.
Yeah.
And the only time I love it is when my kids join
Yeah.
me to work out. And I'm like, oh, I either need to join a gym again,
Yeah.
or I need a workout partner.
Right.
Like something needs to change because it's actually the community that I loved about working out.
It's the principle of Jesus, right? Jesus always operated like this. I'm going to do it and you're going to watch. And then you're going to do it and I'm going to watch.
Yeah.
I don't hunt anymore. I rarely hunt.
Yeah.
But you know what? I did it and people watched. Now they do it and I watch.
Yeah.
And I think that whatever you're good at in terms of fun, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a book club or what is it that you can orchestrate that brings people together and brings emotional exchange?
Yeah.
You might not be doing it anymore. You might actually just be bringing people into it. And that's okay too.
Yeah. Man, it's so good. You add so much value, like without, like I love being around you. I remember you and I would sit on my porch and you would look at me and go, man, there's not a lot of people I can sit in silence with.
It's true.
I love that I can sit in silence with you.
Yeah.
And you and I had a lot going on in my head. You had a lot going on in your head.
Yeah.
We could get together and just be able to just sit with each other. Like, tell me about like what it is you look for in friendships.
Yeah. Well, I think that John Maxwell said one of the signs of closeness is the ability to share silence, right? Sharing silence is a form of safety. Like, and it's to take, I don't want to be in relationships that have to perform in.
Yeah. I mean,
You know, I perform and I've always been a producer, and that's what I do for organizations. That's what I do in the business world. That's what I do to add value. And that's an assignment on my life and it's a gift on my life. But that's not what I want to do with my friends and my family. I still have a responsibility to do that and to serve. But man, if you just let me do what I want, let Trey have what Trey wants, just to be with the people I love and to be safe and to not need to bring anything to the table, just to be fully accepted for who I am in that moment. And I think that's why our relationship thrives. And even I don't want to be conditionally loved. I just want to be loved, and I feel like that you've always brought that to our relationship. I always feel love in your presence. And it's not because of what I did or didn't do. It's not because of what we're doing together or not doing together. It's just, there's a capacity for love. And for me, that's what I'm looking for in a relationship, and safe and loved, so.
Yeah. And you're so good at offering that to people too. Like I remember you called me one day and you said, I was just thinking, you're telling me that we don't have a whole lot in common.
I remember that conversation.
Yeah. And you're like you're probably my only friend.
Yeah.
That I don't have a ton in common with.
It's true.
And you're one of my closest friends.
True.
And I remember meditating on that. Just like, why do we have such a close friendship? Why is it so easy?
Yeah.
And I think it's because, one, we do accept each other for who we are. Like, Trey doesn't have to perform for me. And I don't have to perform for Trey. Partially, we logged a lot of hours watching kids together.
We did.
did. And so we spend a lot of time together. We've logged a lot of hours together, and we've seen the good and the bad of one another.
Yeah.
And we still show up with love and grace and kindness, right?
Well, and safety comes down to trust.
Yeah.
And it's like, we don't struggle with trust, And I think that trust is huge, and that's created a little bit over time, and it took us some time to create that. But I think that safety, trust, and a safe place is those cause me to thrive in a relationship, and in our relationship in particular. So
yeah, you've been a gift to me. You're a gift to really everybody that gets around you, man. Like, doesn't matter if someone's a high level leader in whatever community they're in, or hunting guide in the middle of nowhere, Oregon. You have the ability to change people's lives in a powerful way. And if people want to get a hold of you, they want to reach out to you either for a hunt or something that you're doing. Where do they find you on Instagram? Where do they find you on online?
Yeah, I think my Instagram is Ahab and Trey. You can see all kind of hunts, different species, different locations. I've probably got 30 different places I take people out. Got some of my own ranches. We share some ranches together, some places.
If someone wanted to buy a ranch from...
I consult people in recreational purchases, outdoor purchases, people that want to diversify their portfolio. And then a lot of, like, I've got a friend of mine, and he was just a Christian that wanted to come into like the hunting space or whatever. He was just like, I'm just clueless. And like, that industry doesn't represent a place for believers, And so he started booking house to me. Of course, my clients end up becoming my best friends usually. And so it does, a lot of people are intimidated. Like, well, I've never done any of that before.
Yeah.
That's fine. That doesn't matter.
That was my story.
Yeah. We hold you by the hand all the way through it.
Yeah.
And sure, I took one guy hunting, and I think, and 5 years of hunting, I look up to him. Wow. Based on his accomplishments and what he's done. And, so it's, I love helping people get into those places that they don't understand, and whether it's shooting, hunting, recreational purchases, whatever, shooting schools. Lifetimehunts.us is my website. Our hit, hey, Ahab, if you know him well enough, he's got my cell phone number. So
I'll pass it along.
But we're also looking into doing more commercial events where it's like somebody wants to do team building, bring 20 people somewhere, 15 people somewhere. We can accommodate all that.
It's so good
as well. So
yeah, you're also involved in Brave Co.
Yeah, Brave Co. I work with partner relations and fundraising. Brave Co. We believe that we shouldn't have to charge people for discipleship. So we believe we get the money, that we get the gospel out, God will get the money in. And that's kind of a role that I play, is how can we fuel men's discipleship?
Yeah.
And we do use outdoor and recreational space in that place. We're going to do an Alaska fishing trip. We do all kinds of things with Brave Co. Somebody will be like, hey, I want to get with some other Christian men and I want to go be in the outdoors. I can help provide that. So yeah.
Well, thank you guys for joining. This episode has become great. Trey, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
And remember, guys, if you want any more information, follow Trey on Trey Bollinger. Is it Trey.Bollinger?
I think it's Bollinger Trey. My Instagram.
And lifetimehunts.us. And you can become great. Love y'all.